flies. Let's go ahead and get this up and going on YouTube. And let's grab our link. It is actually kind of mind-boggling that we are halfway through January already. It felt like it was New Year's the other day. What's up, Sinner? Yeah, we are actually coming up on Sphere's 2-year anniversary. Crazy to think. All right. AMA Archive has the link to the AMA, so we should be ready to jump in. All right, fam. You saw the announcement, but obviously I'm going to take some time to talk about this. So just to preface, DeFi is an amazing space with really incredible people who are working to change how our cryptocurrency can be used. Unfortunately, there are and will most likely always be those few who do use this space for selfish purposes that will inflict harm on others. So just in general, please always remember that contract risks are always present, and we must always be vigilant in how we use DeFi. That being said, on January 4th, there was an exploit that attacked multiple DeFi projects, including Dyson-Chronos concentrated liquidity vaults. To clarify, the Sphere Treasury did not lose any funds in this exploit, and neither Sphere nor the Sphere Locker was affected in any way. The only affected vaults were Dyson's Chronos concentrated liquidity vaults. Now, there was a delay in releasing this full breakdown, and that stemmed from the complexity of needing to isolate the affected deposits from user NFTs at the specific block time, among other technical challenges. This itself stemming from the fact that Chronos operates their staking mechanism, which is completely unique and unlike standard staking protocols. So after a full breakdown, the incident was found to be the result of a flash loan attack that took advantage of concentrated liquidity pool calculations. So in that attack, the perpetrators deposited an artificially inflated asset into our Dyson vault, which led to an unwarranted increase in their share value, which was disproportionate to their actual investment, thereby causing the security breach. So unfortunately, this attack was facilitated by our position being the sole depositor on Chronos. And in contrast, a more liquid environment like Uniswap would have rendered this style of attack infeasible. So future iterations of our concentrated liquidity will of course incorporate safeguards against such exploits, along with other protective measures. A more thorough breakdown of the actual details of that exploit can be found in the announcements, the Dyson announcement on the Sphere Discord. So we do estimate that the total impact of this exploit is approximately $148,000. So we are committed to fully compensating those who were negatively impacted by this incident. So at this time, we do advise all users to withdraw their stakes from Chronos and then transfer their ERC20 Dyson tokens to the Sphere Arbitrum multisig wallet, which can be found in the Dyson announcement. Please, of course, only use the official multisig wallet. Users will have 30 days from today to transfer their tokens to the multisig. And this transfer is a mandatory prerequisite for eligibility in our compensation program. And this is required to ensure the verification of address details as well as the accuracy of share calculations. The actual compensation process, which again we will fully address 100% of the submitted affected positions, will then commence after the submission window closes and will then be finalized 30 days thereafter. As always, if you are anxious about this process, you require assistance in any way, any questions, please open a support ticket in our Sphere Discord and we will be happy to assist you. Any questions about that out the get-go? While T1 is typing, I'm going to move on to the next point, which is that regarding Prion, some users were temporarily unable to increase their WMATIC collateral within Prion for a star loan. All other functions were working correctly and all other vaults were working correctly. But the WMATIC collateral on Prion, it was being farmed on Aave, and Aave had temporarily stopped their supply and borrow of Matic so that they could proactively address potential security risks. Aave has since completed their governance process on updating their systems, and the WMATIC Prion vault that had been affected is now fully functional. All right. So let's take a look at some of these questions in AMA chat then. You know how the concentrated liquidity vault exploits happen with multiple protocols like Gamma as well? Was this only on Arbitrum? I'm actually not certain if it was only on Arbitrum. Pandu knows though. So far only on Arbitrum. Thank you, Pandu. Killer Beans, to be clear, if all I have is YL Sphere and Dyson, then I don't have to do anything. I'm fairly certain I know the answer, but double checking. Correct. You do not have to do anything if all you have is YL Sphere and Dyson. The only users affected are the Chronos concentrated liquidity vaults, which are on Arbitrum. Yeah, always good to check. Never, never be afraid to ask. I assume the team have made sure that concentrated liquidity vaults on other chains like Balyan have been looked at and are safe. Yes. Things like this naturally take our attention and full focus. So it has brought us to need to evaluate, everything to make sure that we can learn from this and take from this and grow from this, right? It's the best that it's all that we can do, and it's the best that we can do. So those were the main announcements, of course, that I wanted to go through. I don't think anyone's been having any issues with Prion since Aave has updated their process, and everything should now be fully functional, so we shouldn't have any issues there. We do have several questions actually this past week that kind of have a common theme, but I will be going through those. So the first actually started out with Ferret. I think this technically was the end of last AMA, but it falls into some questions for this AMA. So we'll go into that. OXR preon pools are open. Yes, yes. The preon vaults are open. Yeah, so what I was mentioning there was that there was a period of time where users were temporarily unable to increase their WMATIC collateral for a star loan, and that had to do with Aave temporarily stopping their supply and borrow of Matic. But that has all since been resolved, and all other functions within Preon were still functional, and this that function as well has updated. This will all change when Sphere Lend comes out, right? We won't need Aave, says Sinner. To some degree, yes, that will fulfill that function, though, we can always keep our options open. And, the name of the game is diversification. Oh my gosh, yeah, my brain just stopped there. Diversification and also, never say never, yeah. So we always want to keep our options open. So it's possible that we may be able to solely use Sphere Lend, but sometimes it's good to diversify, and especially right when you're talking about users' funds. All right, so I want to jump into Ferret's question or statement, comment, which is when sim on AMA. So this has come up in the past and it is resurfacing again. So I think it's important to address once again. We have said that sim is taking more of a backseat on the public side in order to better focus his time and energy into doing what he does best, which is building. He is still very much actively involved in Sphere. For example, he posted the announcement today. However, the difference now compared to the early days of Sphere is that we are moving the focus to be on Sphere finance as a whole instead of on any one person. And we really think that this is important and healthy moving forward. So that's the biggest difference. And this comes up again in questions further on this AMA, so we'll talk about it again. The next question was from more BPS, please. Where can I find the most recent Treasury report? The site has Q1 2023 posted. So the most recent Treasury report is Q1 Q3 2023, which can be found in the Sphere announcements. The Q4 report is underway, though hopefully understandably, the recent Dyson exploit has required us to shift focus temporarily to conduct our assessment and compensation planning, and that has taken time away from the Treasury report. But the Q4 2023 Treasury report is still, of course, a high priority. I hear you, T1. Everyone wants to hear from Sim. He is a busy guy. He has a lot going on. And we do want to shift that focus to Sphere Finance as a whole. Even if just for 20 minutes, I think it would be very healthy to have him on to say a few words in a super tiny AMA. I understand why he doesn't, but it can only help. We hear you. We definitely hear you. This kind of bleeds into this next question, so I'll just jump into it. From Niftimos. And this was kind of, I'll just read through it. So this question entailed about looking into getting started in the bull market, Sim feeling like he's far from the community, used to the AMAs with Sim, feeling that Sim is far from the project, that's affecting the confidence in projects, the engine of Sphere, feeling that there's a delay in the completion of the ecosystem, kind of a bit of fear of missing out in the bull market, and questions about marketing as well. So to kind of address your concerns here, Niftmos, and again, like I mentioned earlier, Sim is taking more of a back seat on the public side in order to better focus his time and energy into doing what he does best, which is building. He is, again, still very much actively involved in Sphere, and as you saw, he posted the announcement today. But again, the difference now compared to the early days of Sphere is that we are moving the focus to be on Sphere Finance as a whole instead of on any one person. And we think this is important moving forward. Overall, I wanted to say this as well. Overall, we are a small team with a big vision, and working towards that vision is going to take time. So we also have to address setbacks as they come. For example, the Dyson exploit or bug fixes, which can also take time away from progress on other fronts. But overall, we are still making good progress towards our goals, and we will not rush or sacrifice quality for that perceived progress. I also think it's fair to say that we have survived the worst of this recent bear market, fingers crossed. But of course, crypto continues to be a very volatile space and anything can happen. So as the bull market begins to unfold, we are confident in our ability to position ourselves with our ecosystem components, both active and yet to be announced, in order to take full advantage of that influx of liquidity. But in the meantime, as the market is still overall regaining its footing, we will continue to build. All right, there's a whole conversation going on in chat, so let me get caught up. Talking about accessing staff chat to get in touch with Sim. There's a whole... Gotcha. Okay, so people are still pretty pretty focused on Sim. It's understandable, you know, Sim has laid down the vision of Sphere, and he does a lot of the background work and obviously participates in the decision-making process for Sphere Finance. But again, we are going to be continuing to emphasize more and more that this is Sphere Finance, right? This is not this is not Sim Finance. We are a team and we act as a team, and you know, we discuss things as a team, and we are working to present things as a team. All right, this next question, Top Dog. I would like to know when and how we will start making efforts to attract new investors. So marketing and advertising has actually been a common discussion point within the community and these AMAs as well. Quite a few AMAs actually. So these will always be fluid elements within Sphere, and as such, we are continuing to develop a marketing plan and process. If you'd like to dig more into these topics, I actually highly encourage you to read CryptoFat's community note on marketing that he posted on December 27th. You can access that in the Sphere Discord. Additionally, we continue to work on integrations, collaborations, of course, with other projects which is its own form of advertising as well. And then beyond that, and this is something we've talked about before as well, it's important to recognize that once more of the ecosystem is fully laid out, it will then be much easier and natural to market and advertise because people will be able to see the ecosystem fully present and working. So different things I wanted to mention with respect to that question. Cohen, I tried to buy 25 USD of Sphere, so I bought 25 USD of Matic and wanted to send it to my wallet, but I canceled the order because it cost about 7 USD on transfer cost. Wow. What's the cheapest way to buy Sphere? So the cheapest way is through Balancer, and our bot has provided that for you. I'm trying to figure out where or how it would cost you $7 to transfer Matic from one wallet to another. Bought 20 Matic, you want to send it to my wallet. Bridging, yeah. Bitvano, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It was on ETH. Okay, okay. Another thing too, Cohen, is if you would like some further assistance, you can always open a support ticket. But yeah, I think sounds like you bought it on a centralized exchange on the Ethereum network, so it'll have to bridge over from Ethereum to Polygon. Unless that exchange is able to... Yeah, I'm just thinking from so Coinbase, for example, you can bridge, you can buy Matic and send it via the Polygon network. Yeah, like T1 is saying, that's where my thought is going, is if you're able to withdraw on the Polygon chain, that may be cheaper. Because if you're trying to send it and it's a $7 fee, it may actually send the Matic to the Ethereum network, in which case you would still need to bridge it over once it's in your wallet. Yeah, crypto.com, Coinbase, for sure can send Matic directly to Polygon. Sorry you're having those issues, though. All right. While they engage in that discussion, I will move on to the next question from Darth Taco. So where did all of my thousands of dollars go? Now I only have 50. The monetary value of investments is volatile. That is the nature of cryptocurrency and the unfortunate reality of the market conditions that we have all endured these past couple years. The fundamentals of Sphere and its vision have remained unchanged. And you are also welcome to review the most recent Treasury report as well to see how we have managed Treasury funds throughout 2023. All right. Next from Mad Mike Delta, update/feature the 2024 roadmap. So yes, updating the roadmap on the main Sphere website is on the to-do list, but again, we are a small team and we have to prioritize our tasks accordingly, and we do appreciate your patience in the meantime. Do I see Ralph jinxing the gas prices of ETH in the chat? No, it'll ebb and flow. All right. So last question here from the AMA questions channel. Molino, according to mods, Sphere is waiting for the right time to release what they've been building. What's taken into consideration for it to be the right time? New Bitcoin all-time high, for example, full-blown bull market. So there are no hard and fast rules for these types of decisions. Certainly it depends on making sure that first what we have been working on is complete and functional, but then beyond that, there are many factors that have to be taken into account, and no single factor should go overbalanced or unnoticed and without consideration. So we really have to weigh everything. And if you have any considerations for what to factor into that, we of course would be happy to hear about that. You know, we still are always monitoring the chats. We're always listening to what you guys have to say, and we are always open to suggestions, feedback, different considerations. What are the team working on right now? Is it Sphereland or the unannounced projects? Yes. I know it's hard. Again, coming from the community, gosh, what seems like forever ago, I still hold that perspective. Um, and I know it's not easy for you guys to not know these different things and to constantly be given these kind of blanket answers and responses. Um, so we do appreciate your patience. I do know how challenging that is, especially for the market conditions we've all been struggling through. It's been very challenging for many people to go through this bear market, but last year was pretty exciting for Bitcoin overall, and obviously the start of this year has been very exciting with the Bitcoin ETFs. Many people did anticipate a bit of a fizzle out after the actual approval of those ETFs. Most people expected that, but the run up to it had a lot of excitement being generated. And now it's just kind of a matter of time, because now that these instruments are available, it just opens the door to so many other people to more easily gain access and exposure to Bitcoin. And then past that, you know, theories for Ethereum and so on and so forth. We're really just at the cusp and be very, very beginning of the cryptocurrency revolution. So it's a really exciting time to be in crypto. Not to mention the halving occurring, you know, end of March, beginning of April. So that's a big deal too that I think it's not really being talked about much, right? You're combining an increase in demand via the ETFs with a decrease in supply, in new supply. So, you know, just looking at the simple rules of supply and demand, what does that do for price, right? Do you know what this was by any chance? Wondering, never knew there was a purple sphere. The purple sphere is the staff chat. Yes, Ralph brings up a very good point. A healthy sphere treasury has allowed the team to fully compensate the Dyson-Chronos exploit. And we're, of course, really proud to be able to offer that, and obviously feel very bad that it happened, but we're glad that we're able to compensate. All right. Well, that covers all of the announcements and um, questions that I had to go through. So let's see here, Cinder. How hard, difficult would it be to send a transaction with a note on it to the affected users, just in case the odds they don't use Discord? Interesting idea. I plan to make a video about it as well, so that we can get the information out there. But yeah, that's a good question. Okay. All right. Any other good suggestions or questions? Is there a list of what was announced? I joined late. Let me go through it for you real quick. Let's see. So we talked about the Dyson-Chronos exploit, Bladita. So if you used Dyson's Chronos concentrated liquidity vaults, there is some action you'll need to take. So please read the Dyson announcements if you're among that group. There was an issue depositing increasing WMATIC collateral within Prion that was due to Aave, but Aave has since went through and updated their systems, and everything is now again fully functional on Prion. And then we also talked about how in the past we've mentioned that Sim is taking more of a backseat on the public side in order to better focus his time and energy into building. And we're really trying to emphasize more that the focus is on Sphere Finance as a whole rather than on any one person. Talked a little bit about marketing and advertising. Encourage you to read the community notes that was posted on the December 27th if you're curious to know more about that. And that kind of about covers it. You're welcome. All right. Well, any other WenSphere meet and greet? I think it would be really fun. And this is just me. This is not coming from the team. This is coming from me. I think it would be really fun to attend a convention, a crypto, DeFi, Web3 convention in the future, represent Sphere, and be available for a meet and greet. I think that would be a lot of fun. Who knows if that will crystallize into reality, but you never know. And like we said earlier, never say never. Good questions. Any other questions, thoughts, feedback? Airfare and accommodations on Sim. Just don't tell him. Yeah. All right. Ladita, what is the trainee role in my profile? XP level role through Discord. I see some folks typing and explaining. Love it. Very good. Yep, so the more you engage in our chats, the more XP you earn. And that's monitored by the Discord AI. You've been pretty quiet for a while. Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you back. And feel free to let us know if you have any other thoughts or questions. Yes, TBD and perfect in response to T1 as well. All right, any other questions before we wrap up for today's AMA? Oh, yes, of course. It is coming close to the turn of the epoch, so if you have any governance tokens, be sure to cast your votes before that epoch changes over. And also be sure to monitor your yield locked sphere to see if you need to either withdraw or relock. Yeah, the weekly compounding is it always makes me smile when I see that in chat. If you know, you know. All right. I think it is fair to close it off there then. If you do think of any other questions, feel free to drop them in the AMA questions channel or bring them up in the different chats here on the Sphere Discord. We'll be happy to reach out and help address your concerns. We have wonderful community members here as well who are more than happy to assist also. So thank you everyone who is able to join us live in the AMA chat. Thanks to everyone listening on YouTube. Always remember that you matter for who you are. And I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Take care, everyone.